Hallo meine lieben Freunde, was geht, was es muss, guten Tag. Es ist dein Lieblings-YouTuber James Bray und ich reagiere heute auf 6 mistakes you should avoid when speaking German. Now, it's probably a surprise to you, but my German isn't the best. I've been practicing a lot. As of late, I haven't been going super hard like I normally do, but I will be back on the grind to learn more German very soon, meaning tomorrow. And by the grind, I mean like I'm gonna be doing multiple lessons a day like I was doing. I slowed down a bit so I can stream, post a couple more YouTube videos and stuff like that, but I'm back on the grind tomorrow, guys. German Girl in America, very awesome YouTuber, very informative channel. Go show her some love and tell her that the Bray Gang sent you guys. If you guys are new, welcome. If you guys are returning viewers, welcome back. We post videos every single day. And so all I ask is that you guys abonniert diesen Kanal und like the video. I can't talk. Bitte. Vielen lieben Dank. Basically, like the video, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And yeah, let's go see what you have to say, because I need tips to improve my Deutsch. Because I think when I hear myself speak German, it sounds off. I don't know what about it is off. I think the CH pronunciation for me and the R pronunciation are like the top two things that are like devastating for me when it comes to pronunciation. But I don't know, you guys have seen enough of my videos to tell me what I need to work on. But let's just dive into this thing and see exactly what we're working with, man. Los geht's!
What? You're German? That's so cool. Do you speak German too? Yes, of course I do. It's my native language. Ooh, does it sound like this? Haben Schlagen verboten for Vergnügen and would like to start a world war.
Whoa, I don't think I sound like that, but I feel like part of how I pronounce some of the words are like that actually, which sucks, you know. I need to get better, so I can't wait, man. I'm gonna try to like practice as she explains it, or maybe like I'll listen to her first and then I'll try to like, you know, fix my pronunciation.
Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Felicia. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I have been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio since 2016. A couple months ago, I made a video where I talked about 5 mistakes that German natives make when speaking English, and I promised you guys to also share some tips regarding mistakes that you should avoid when speaking German as a second language.
Ooh, I can't wait for this, man, because I'm telling you, I know my German needs work. I know it needs work. Okay, I know it needs work. And I think she's probably the best person to give tips on something like this, because she does a really good job explaining things. And then I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So it's just...
And I did make a video about how to pronounce German brand names correctly. However, I didn't really explain any general rules in that one. So today we'll change that, and I'll be sharing my list of 6 mistakes that you should avoid when speaking German. But before we start with the list, I'd like to take a second and introduce today's sponsor link. Mistakes that you should avoid when speaking German. I'll be talking about a few pronunciation issues first, and then about spelling and a pretty cool grammatical feature.
Awesome. Oh, bruh. All right. Before we get into this, if you guys saw my Instagram story, I got in trouble at work. So for people who don't know, I'm in the military, in the Air Force, and I had to make a going away plaque, is what we call them. When people leave the work center and they move to different bases and stuff, we normally send them off with a plaque, like an award, like an appreciation award, pretty much. Like, hey, thank you for being here, working really hard, da-da-da. Now, I was the one, I still am the one, responsible for making those plaques, right? Well, the guy's name was Keith, right? And I'm like, okay, Keith should be spelled Kieth. It should, because IE makes the E sound, because I'm learning German and stuff. But also, too, think about what chief is. Chief is spelled Chief. Chief. So Keith, Chief. Same thing, right? Well, I got yelled at because I spelled his name wrong. Apparently, it's spelled Keith. And I'm like, wait a minute, Keith? What? Keith? Your name is spelled Keith? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments down below. How do you spell Keith? Is it Keith or Kieth? Now I know spellings of names are completely subjective, but I don't know. Let me know like how you think it should be spelled, because I thought it should be spelled Kieth. I got in trouble.
The first point on my list is one that I personally find extremely important because it makes a huge difference in regards to whether a native speaker will understand you or not, and it's the difference between EI and IE. Yep. By the way, in this video, I'll mainly be referring to English native speakers who learn German, but the tips will apply to others as well. So both of these diphthongs do not exist in English, but in German they're very common, and even though they look very similar, they're not the same, and it's important to know how to pronounce them. So the EI is pronounced I, basically like the English letter I. That letter is pronounced E in German, by the way.
So we have actually a lot of words like with that in it. So you have height and oh shit, that's actually crazy. So freight, it's actually weird, right? Freight, like freight train, it's actually spelled F-R-E-I-G-H-T. Freight train. So the EI in that word makes an A sound. Don't pay attention. The English language is weird. It's disturbing, trust me. But I was learning, German. I still am learning German. And so the similar rule for EI and IE, generally speaking, IE makes the E sound and EI makes the I sound, So I don't know, man. Keith and Keith. The debate of Keith and Keith. Let me know, man. If we have any Keiths watching this, let me know how your name is spelled. Please. Make it make sense.
People usually learn about this diphthong in the very first German lesson when they learn how to introduce themselves and say ich heiße, which means I am called. Or you may also know it from a word that seems to be every American's favorite, Scheiße. Or you can
Scheiße.
even think of the name of the American president Eisenhower. I like to say that if you need a memory aid to remember this, you should simply look at the second letter of the diphthong and pronounce that in English. So
wow, that's clever. That's clever. I didn't even really, so I didn't key in on that. But I do understand it.
This one, the second letter is I, so you pronounce it I. Now, using that memory aid, when you look at the other diphthong, you can probably tell that the IE diphthong is pronounced like the English letter E.
Yep.
So it's E. People usually learn this one really early on too, because when you ask someone else for their name, you say, Wie heißt du? What are you called? So in this question, you have both of the diphthongs in there, and the first one is pronounced E, wie, and the second one is pronounced I, heißt. So it's wie heißt du? Wie heißt du? Now the reason I'm putting so much emphasis on this is that many English speakers get these two confused even when they're already at a higher level of learning German.
Yeah, because then, okay, right? I know I said what I said for the English language too. The English language is weird because IE also makes the I sound and EI can also make the E sound, which is weird, but it can also be flipped. Like it does both. It has the German rule and it has its own rule, man. It's really weird. Like the word tie is T-I-E, so it'd be tie. So when they see wie heißt, right, they'd be like wie heißt? No. Wie heißt du, right? Which is crazy because there's other words that like friend, right? Friend is like wait a minute, how do I spell friend? Oh, okay. Yeah, friend, it's weird because that even sounds different, Or there's other words I could probably think of throughout this to kind of like make a reference to. But yeah, man, like height obviously has the same, rule structure as the German language, but it's like H-I or H-E-I-G-H-T. And it's interesting, but like I said, the English language is weird because those can also be flipped as well, which is, I don't know, something I still don't understand.
It's just pretty difficult for a native speaker to understand what you mean when you mess these up. Just to give a couple examples, this word is pronounced Reise, and it means journey or trip. But when people pronounce it Riese instead, they're really saying this word, which means giant. Another example that comes to mind because it rhymes would be Wiese, which means meadow. But if you mispronounce it and say Weise instead, it means wise. And this famous German band is also not called Rammstein, which is what I hear most Americans.
Bruh, if you guys saw my Omegle video, the girl that I interviewed, I interviewed at the end of one of my videos. Like, yeah, what's your favorite band? Da da da. And she's like, oh, Rammstein. And I'm like, oh, cringe, Rammstein, man, Rammstein.
Call it, but it's Rammstein.
Rammstein, yeah. That's crazy.
That's
exactly what I was thinking it was called. Like, I'm like, it's Rammstein, right? Like, not Rammstein. Rammstein sounds so, gross. Rammstein, dude, Rammstein. I've heard that pronunciation before, and I'm pretty sure. No, I've never pronounced it that way. That's crazy.
Pronunciation issue is the CH sound that we have in German.
Yes.
Again, you learn this one right at the beginning usually, because this is part of the word for I. Ich. So when you say ich heiße or ich bin, you already have to use this. The CH sound doesn't exist in the English language, and therefore it's pretty much the equivalent to the English TH sound that many other nationalities struggle with. Many people therefore try to replace it with a sound that they know from their native language, which is why English speakers often say ich instead of ich.
Yeah, yo, that is so annoying, yo. That is so annoying. It's like, ich bin da 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 da. I'm like, yo, literally. I've seen this too. Once again, I have an Omegle series on my channel, right? And I would try to like practice my German. And I was trying to practice with some Americans, right? Which is the dumbest thing I could have possibly done. But it was kind of a fun thing, you know? And it's like, hallo, ich bin da da da. And I'm like, ich bin, bro? Where do you see a K? I mean, I could see you saying ish, you know, because, you know, the pronunciation of the CH is, you know, it can be a little bit funky. But I know, isn't it like ish? Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Ich bin. Or like some people say ich bin, but ich. At the back of your, like the top of your roof of your mouth, front of your tongue, I think. I don't know. You guys let me know if I pronounced it right.
Heiße Feli instead of ich heiße Feli. And just like with all pronunciation issues when learning a second language, there's nothing wrong with that per se, as long as people can understand what you're trying to say. But the whole CK instead of CH thing actually does sound a little odd to German ears and might make it kind of difficult to understand you. For the word ich, most Germans actually find it more natural to replace the CH with a sh sound and say ish instead of ich.
Yes, that's exactly. Shout out to everybody that's on the Discord server, man. You guys are lit. You guys have been teaching me everything, so this is dope.
Because that sounds a little closer to ich, and also because in some regional German accents, people actually do pronounce it ish. Now, with other words, that's not always a good replacement though, and my tip would be to actually try and get as close to the CH sound as you can, and it's actually very doable for English native speakers because you actually do have it in your own language when you say the words human or humid, for example. Just pronounce the first sound a little stronger and you got it. Humid. Ich.
Human. Ich. Ah! Yo, that's dope. That's actually really, what? That's some, wow, what? That's crazy.
Unfortunately, there are two different CH sounds though. So in some words like auch, which means also, or Dach, which means roof, you pronounce it more in the back of your throat. Almost as if you had a piece of food stuck in there and you're trying to get it out. Yeah. It's not pretty, but that's kind of what it is. This harsher version of the CH sound is used whenever it follows a dark vowel. So A, O, U, or the diphthong ow.
Like, or there's a word, I think it's called doch, and that's like, it's like you're challenging somebody in a way. So someone's like, does he not have a bike? And you're like, doch, like he does, like, like what?
This one definitely requires a little more practice, but if you manage to pronounce this, your German pronunciation will already be twice as good as before.
That's dope. Don't overpronounce the R. Okay, so I'm assuming don't say ruh, say like right? I don't know, because I'm confused. So it sounds like when you guys pronounce the R, it's like an HR, so it's like or something. Like if you say like how do what's a word? I can't think of anything now. Like Reise, right? Like it'd be like an H R, or because if I say Reise, then it's just a flat rolled R, right? But if I say Ryza, you know what I'm saying, like Ryza. But I feel like there's like a silent H in front of the R when you make your pronunciations for R's and stuff. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Another little trick that will improve your German pronunciation by a lot is to stop overpronouncing the R at the end of words. This is especially targeted at Americans, since British people don't usually do that anyway, but Americans tend to pronounce their R's very strongly.
Yes.
But in most German words that end on ER or AR, Germans don't actually pronounce that R, but just say ah, like in the word Kinder, which means children,
Kinder.
and which most of you probably know since it's part of the word kindergarten. In German, we don't say Kinder, we say Kinder. Kinder. We also don't say Arnold Schwarzenegger, we say Schwarzenegger. Or instead of bar, we say ba.
Ba. Oh, wow, that's dope. That's actually really dope. That makes so much sense. Because when I say like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, you know, it sounds weird.
Okay, so I'm not gonna make this video all about pronunciation because in many cases, it's really not the end of the world if you can't say everything properly. So I'll just summarize a few more pronunciation tips briefly. So besides the EI and IE diphthong, it's also important to know how to pronounce the other diphthongs we have. And those are au, oi.
Yes.
And then this one sounds exactly the same, oi. Then you should also
Oi? Really? Wait, with the umlaut? So A with the umlaut and U together, that's also oi? I'm trying to think of words where I've heard that before. So oi and oi. So oi could be, I know oi can be EU, but the A with the umlaut and the U, that's super cool. I didn't know that.
So make sure not to pronounce the German Z like Z, but the German Z is a lot harsher. It's actually pronounced like a TS. So so this word is not pronounced Zeit or Zeit, but it's Zeit. Same goes for knowing how to pronounce the German W. We don't have the English W sound in German at all, but instead we pronounce the W like the English V. So we say V as in Wasser. And then of course the German R is tricky for many people to pronounce. I personally don't think that it's a big deal if you just use your English R, but if you want to learn it, here are some tips. The regular R in German is pronounced in the back of your throat, and many people practice this by gargling water, because what you do when you gargle is pretty much what you do when you pronounce the German R. Except that once you say it in the word, you just say it very briefly, like in Rasen or Drache.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It sounds so different, bro. It's like I can't do it. Go back. Rase. Hold on, go back. Rasen. Cause I'm like rolling my R with my tongue on the roof of my mouth. Rasen. But if you hear how she says it, and it's like how every German pronounce it, it's like it almost sounds like there's a H, like a silent, like a really soft H in front of the R. Like look. Kind of. It in my opinion, look.
Except that once you say it in the word, you just say it very briefly, like in Rasen or.
Oh, actually, never mind. So it's not like that. It's like it's like a RH, but the H is silent, like Rasen, right? Rasen. Or maybe it's like a HR. I don't know. I feel like there's like an H sound before the R, but like it's like a because you know how you say huh, like, you know, with like a silent H, it would be like Rasen, like, but you don't overpronounce the H part, right? So I think people do it without even like really expecting it, because I always hear something before the R when people pronounce like their R's. I'm like, how do I pronounce the R? Like how you guys can pronounce the R's. It's actually really cool.
Drache. For those of you who can roll their R's like you do it in Spanish, that's also an option, because in some regions of Germany, mainly in the south, many people do roll their R's instead of pronouncing it in the back of their throats.
Yeah, because I roll my R's, right? But it's not, you're not rolling your R's in German. It's like it's like a HR. with a slight roll. You know, it's weird to describe, but that's how I don't know. That's the best way I can describe it, I guess.
If you do that, you'll sound a little more like you'll have a regional German accent rather than a foreign one. And my last point on the pronunciation list are vowels. Again, this isn't a huge deal breaker, but if you'd like to pronounce things correctly in German, one major thing to be aware of is that, unlike English vowels that are technically diphthongs, where you make two different sounds for one vowel, like a, German vowels are pure, so you really only make one sound. So instead of a, it's just a. No moving your mouth.
Nice.
The other ones are e, I, O, and U.
That's crazy. Capitalization.
The next point on my list has to do with spelling, or rather capitalizing words. And I'm saying this because even though it may seem like it's not a huge deal, these mistakes really make it hard for German natives to read something. And in my experience, many German learners don't really seem to be aware of how much of a difference it makes.
Yeah, I capitalized the wrong things. Also, too, I might need to, like, I don't know, I could probably message her about, like, and maybe you guys can let me know in the comments, about past tense and present tense verbs and stuff, because whenever I speak, I always use future tense for current tense, and then past tense for future tense, and then present tense for future tense. It's all over the place. Like, I mix it up. And then where to place certain words. Like, if I want to say, I want to make doner kebab again, right? Then in my mind, when I say it, it's like, ich möchte doner kebab nochmal. But I'm pretty sure it's like, ich nochmal machen doner kebab, right? Right? Or I'm probably messing that up. Like, my grammar is really messed up. I'm not sure how you guys can understand me. Like, I don't understand how y'all can understand me, because I can't even understand me. I try to pronounce the words properly, but it sounds bad, man. Like, so GG for anybody that's trying to understand what I'm saying, because it's a struggle. Okay, I will get better. I promise. I will be fluent, but it's gonna take some time and a lot of practice. But I can say what's been helping is practicing every day, like speaking every day, even if it's a little bit, because it's allowing me to get a lot more comfortable. You know, I've never in my life said ich bin anything. Like, that's just, I just knew not to do that. Okay, but I had before, I would mispronounce a lot of stuff. I still do all the time, but speaking it every day is probably the #1 thing that helps. But speaking it with people that already speak the language is like huge, because it helps me get way more comfortable, and I'm learning some slang, so it's pretty lit.
First of all, we don't capitalize the word ich, so I in German, like you do in English. In fact, English is the only language that does that, so unless the word ich is at the beginning of a sentence, it's lowercase in German. I have seen Americans do this wrong a lot, just out of habit, that's why I'm pointing it out. What is capitalized in German, though, are all nouns, and when I say all nouns, I really mean all of them. In English, only so-called proper nouns are capitalized, like names, places, countries, etc. And there are also proper adjectives that are always capitalized in English.
Oh, that makes sense. That's interesting. That's really interesting. That actually makes sense now, because I'm like, why are the sentences looking a little weird? Like, they look strange. They look like YouTube titles a little bit, you know? But like, I walked to the store today, but then store is capitalized. And I'm like, why is the store capitalized, bruh? Like, what? And why isn't I capitalized? It's weird. But no, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Such as the adjective German or American. Everything else is lowercase in English, including most nouns. In German, every noun is capitalized, which can make it a lot easier to look at a sentence and pick out all the important words quickly. Nice. Fun fact though, and this is something that I didn't even know until I looked it up for this video, nouns used to be capitalized in English as well until they changed it sometime in the 19th century, but the US Constitution and the Declaration of Independence are actually still written with all the nouns capitalized.
Whoa, that's crazy.
The last point on my list is a grammatical thing, and obviously German grammar is very tricky and there are lots and lots of rules and not really a lot of tips, except that you'll have to learn those rules, unfortunately. One tip that I have for English native speakers, though, is that there's actually one thing that's a lot easier in German than it is in English, and that has to do with tenses. Of course, the structures of these...
I was just talking about that! Thank you so much! Oh my god! Yes!
And tenses are kind of complicated in the beginning, but unlike in English, you can use the present tense in a lot of different contexts in German. Like when you talk about the future, you can just use the regular present tense with a time adverb and say, Ich gehe morgen einkaufen. I go shopping tomorrow, instead of saying I will go. Or you can say, Ich wohne seit 2016 in Cincinnati. I live in Cincinnati since 2016, instead of I have been living. So make use of that and don't make your life harder by trying to use all the equivalents of all the different English tenses.
That's exactly why I keep messing up so much. I try to find English equivalents and it butchers my soul every single time. This is helpful. What? This is crazy. Oh my god!
Because in colloquial German, you'll mainly need the present tense to talk about the present, future, and things that have started in the past but are still going on.
Nice.
And you'll need the perfect tense to talk about the past.
Okay.
So that was the end of my list for today. Of course, there are many, many more tips that one could share about learning German. So if you have one in mind right now, make sure to put it in the comments below. Like, what's a mistake that people should avoid when speaking German? Or what's a mistake that you hear people make a lot? Or what's your secret tip when it comes to learning German?
Yes, please. All right, so how I've been learning so far, and I think my pronunciation's been getting better, but I literally watch a lot of YouTube videos in German and I speak it every day. That's why I have my Discord. A lot of the people in my Discord are from Germany, so speaking with you guys is actually super dope. And I don't speak it like perfectly. I don't even try to speak the whole conversation. Like there's certain words I pronounce over and over again, and it helps, you know. Babbel, language learning, Babbel and Duolingo help with structuring a little bit better, and then a few other things. But I don't know. You guys let me know what I need to work on myself. I need to work on a lot of stuff, and you guys have given me a giant list, and I've been trying to like hammer each of those things down. If you guys want a cringe compilation, I actually have vlogs completely in German that I try to do my best to speak German the entire time. They're cringe. I'm just letting you guys know that right now. They are cringe because I said the wrong things for the wrong scenarios and stuff, and yeah. But on that note, this was a very good video, very informative, and I learned quite a bit. Let me know what you guys think about this, and make sure you go subscribe to German Girl in America. She's growing really fast. Get her to 200K. I think by the time this video goes up, she might even have 200K. I don't know. But either way, go support her. She's really awesome, and I've been learning a lot from her videos. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until the next time I see you guys again, take care. Love you guys. Peace. Well, what a pleasure it is to see all of your beautiful faces at the end of this lovely video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm sure you know, as I've mentioned in the past, we do have a Discord that's linked in the description down below, and we would love to have you a part of the world's greatest community ever, Bray Gang. Yes, if you've made it to this point in the video, you're officially a part of the community. So go ahead, join the Discord server. Link is in the description down below. And we also have other social media as well, like Instagram, Twitter. We're live. We go live on Twitch quite often as well. So it would behoove you to, go ahead and subscribe to the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/JamesBrayGang. Join the cause and be a part of the greatest, literally the greatest community ever. Okay, it's simple. Just go ahead and do those little things. We're trying to grow on all these little platforms and everything, and it really means a lot. Now, I know you guys stumbled up across the channel and you're like, what does this guy post? Like, what kind of content does he post? Reactions, vlogs, pretty much whatever comes to my mind. All right, it's random content. I don't know what I'm gonna be posting 10 years from now, but I do know that you can stick along for the journey, and it really means a lot. Now, for every single person that subscribes and follows all of the accounts that I have made, and all the links will be in the description down below, that's an automatic entry for any future giveaways I decide to have. I'll remind you when the giveaways take place, but you'll be surprised what I will be giving away because you guys have supported me so much up to this point, and it's only right that I do the same thing back. Thank you guys so much for being amazing, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.